While millions watch
Oh,
the
check that
World
out.
Cup in the
Nice,
dark,
nice.
thousands
Look
of
at that player.
screens light up
Amazing.
at the same
Right.
time.
Still watching the live score, though.
Notifications, odds flashing, instant bonuses,
Go.
lightning
They're
bets.
gonna score.
And behind
Yes.
each of those screens,
Goal.
there's an
Goal.
entire intelligence trying to predict your next move. Not your next bet, your next boost. Because modern companies have discovered something extremely profitable. An emotionally engaged brain makes far more predictable decisions. And during the World Cup, billions of people enter exactly that state. Excitement, anxiety, euphoria, adrenaline, belonging. The perfect scenario for behavioral manipulation. But the most disturbing thing, the problem is that most people believe they are just having fun, when in reality, they are interacting with systems designed to exploit psychological vulnerabilities. The World Cup didn't just create fans. She created the perfect environment for one of the most aggressive industries on the planet, the economics of sports betting. And perhaps your brain is already being conditioned without you realizing it. Because modern apps don't just function as platforms. They function like psychological engineering machines. Everything is calculated. The colors, the sounds, the notifications. The odds are changing every second. The feeling of urgency, the false impression of control. None of this happens by chance. Casinos discovered decades ago that the human brain becomes extremely vulnerable when it enters unpredictable reward cycles. Winning occasionally activates dopamine. Almost winning activates even more. And losing makes the brain immediately want to regain the feeling of reward. This cycle traps human behavior. And modern applications have transformed this mechanism on a digital scale. During the World Cup, this intensifies dramatically. Because there's something different about major sporting events. They synchronize human emotion. Millions of people are feeling tension at the same time. They celebrate at the same time. They both become anxious at the same time. And when crowds enter into synchronized emotional states, impulsivity increases. The ancestral brain interprets collective belonging as a biological priority. Thousands of years ago, being excluded from the tribe meant death. Today, the brain still reacts in the same way. But now companies have discovered how to monetize this ancestral instinct. While you're watching a crucial game, apps detect exactly when your emotions are rising, when your attention quickens, when your impulsivity increases. And perhaps that's why notifications seem to appear precisely during the most emotional moments of the game. Because modern algorithms understand one extremely important thing. Emotion reduces rational resistance, and an emotionally engaged brain makes faster decisions, more impulsive, more predictable, more profitable for the system. But there's something even darker happening behind the scenes. Today, platforms are able to study. How long do you spend looking at odds? Which games increase your activity? Which emotions capture your attention? When you are most vulnerable, when you are most likely to spend, their behavior becomes data. And this data is worth billions. Because predicting human behavior has become one of the most powerful industries in modern capitalism. And perhaps the strangest part, the thing is, most people will never realize it. While they believe they are simply watching football, entire systems are learning exactly how to influence their decisions. Perhaps that's why betting ads seem to follow you around during the World Cup. Perhaps that's why social media is flooded with bonuses, odds, and flash bets. Perhaps that's why everything seems more emotionally intense. Because there is an invisible war going on, a battle for your attention, because of his impulsiveness, because of your dopamine. And the longer you remain emotionally aroused, the more predictable you become. The financial system understands this perfectly. Emotionally stimulated people tend to take more risks, spend more than usual, losing awareness of consequences, seek quick rewards. And during the World Cup, this behavior explodes globally. It's no coincidence that betting companies invest billions specifically in major sporting events. Because the World Cup creates the perfect psychological conditions: collective excitement, urgency, hope, fear, impulsiveness, all at the same time. But perhaps the most dangerous point is this: modern systems don't just want users, they want predictable behavior, because predictable behavior generates predictable profit. The betting industry isn't growing solely because people enjoy sports. It is growing because modern technology has learned to exploit human emotions in real time. And perhaps that's why so many people find it difficult to stop. Because the problem was never just a lack of discipline. The problem is that the human brain was never designed to cope with modern algorithms trained to capture attention and impulsivity, especially during emotionally charged global events. The World Cup is not just generating viewership. She is fueling an entire economy based on human behavior. Perhaps the greatest product of the World Cup has never been football. Perhaps it has always been human behavior. If you've made it this far, then you've probably realized one thing. Betting apps don't just sell entertainment. They sell psychological stimulation, impulsiveness, dopamine, and predictable behavior. So subscribe to the channel, because in the next videos we're going to reveal how algorithms, money, and psychology are reshaping human behavior. And I want to identify who is truly awake. Then just comment with one word: awake, without context, without explanation. Just that word. Because while billions watch the World Cup, few realize that they are also being studied.